Super Mario Odyssey turns 8 years old this year, and it's one of the best Mario games to come out in the last decade. Fun fact, I played it back in 2017 and instantly fell in love with it, and I only ended up 100%ing it just last year in October, after 7 long years. Why did it take me that freaking long? Well, that's the thing. I have no clue. I will say this though. This video is long overdue, but I'm here to fix that. So today we're talking about Super Mario Odyssey, one of the best games on the Nintendo Switch, and, well, what could this game add if Super Mario Odyssey 2 ended up coming around? Without further ado, let's go! The game begins with Mario having yet another face-off with Bowser, in yet another one of Mario's daring missions to rescue Princess Peach. Again. And to nobody's surprise, Mario gets his absolute bell rung by Bowser, and he just plummets down to the land below, his iconic cat being torn apart by Bowser's airship as it flies away. However, Mario finds a rather unlikely ally in the form of a Top Hat ghost? Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. I knew there was gonna be some quirky stuff in this game, given the cover be looking like this, but I wasn't expecting that. It kind of makes me feel like a fool. Anyway, I feel like the Prologue Kingdom is just, oh my god. The Cap Kingdom is one of the best introductory worlds I've ever seen in a Mario game, hands down. I love how this game takes its time to show you how to play the game. It's in no rush, it's just taking its time to show you how to maneuver around the kingdom, how to maneuver Mario in this wacky 3D world, showing off Cappy's abilities, showing off the capture ability with the frog that jumps insanely high, and basically teach you the fundamental basics you're gonna need in this game, one baby step at a time. Which was good for me because I had zero clue as to what the freak I was doing. After you get through Top Hat Tower, you encounter these lovely Wescally Webbits, aka the Brutals at the top of the tower. They're Bowser's wedding planners who are also allowed by Bowser's contract to beat the heck out of Mario and whoever helps him as they see fit while they're plundering the worlds looking for things on their giant wedding planning list. Fantastic. After a quick face-off with Topper and you give him the good old 1-2, Mario can now possess an electricity volt, which... ow, that can't be comfortable by any means. Anyway, he possesses the electricity volt and takes off for the next kingdom, looking for things to aid him and his new Top Hat ghostly friend Cappy in rescuing the princess before she is forced to marry a turtle hybrid reptile lunatic against her will. Again, one thing that Super Mario Odyssey does do right that many Mario games sometimes don't is that in Super Mario Odyssey, you don't get bored all that easily, if at all. Usually in other Mario games, it's one platforming challenge to another, but here, you gotta actually explore a bit and wander around to solve the problems at hand. That was a decent shock to me. I wasn't terribly bored while playing this game like I was with the new Super Mario Bros. Games. Don't get me wrong, those games are insanely good, but it got tiring from just parkouring and trying to get through the worlds as fast as possible. Now, I can take my time and bounce around aimlessly like a buffoon. Hey, at least I had fun with it, that's the point. I will say this though, it was so satisfying to rip up Bowser's wedding posters. I could do that all day. Take that, you Koopa buffoon! I love how Odyssey follows a very simple Mario formula. Peach gets kidnapped by Bowser for the umpteenth time, and Mario's gotta go save her again. Super Mario Odyssey took this formula, ran away faster than Usain Bolt with it, and made it absolutely wonderful. It didn't feel like one huge rush to get through one level and find all the secrets. In Odyssey, there is no timer, and you can take your time, explore, collect coins, collect moons, and purple coins, and who knows, maybe stop by the Crazy Hat Shop and get yourself some guilty pleasure spending. Look, I did that a lot, okay? Don't judge. With purple coins, you're able to buy special things at the shops in each kingdom. Collect all 50 or 100 purple coins if you're in certain kingdoms. This is more of a post-game thing, but still worth noting, especially if you're going for that sweet 100%. But there are these purple coins that just loiter around the kingdom waiting to be collected. And with these coins, you can collect special outfits and special collectibles for your Odyssey, which I think are cool. Moving on from the coins, let's talk about the captures. Capturing enemies and using their abilities to help Mario and Cappy progress is a huge part of the game. My favorites personally are the Gushin, which is just FLUDD from Super Mario Sunshine on steroids, and I love it. I also really love the Uproot. I always wanted to be tall, okay? Podoboos, aka lava bubbles, you get into lava and you just roam around like you own the place. Come on! You can't lie, you wanted to touch that lava at some point. Pokios! I hope I said that right. I was so tempted to say Pinocchio. You get to climb walls as a bird and stab enemies like some wacky bird ninja, which I think is badass. And last but not least, Sherms, aka big tanks. Look, you get to be a tank. What's not to like about that? Anyway, captures are a huge part of the game, and they add so much to the game, and it's all thanks to Mario's volunteer friend, Cappy, the Hat Ghost, whatever the hell you want to call him. The captures help you progress through the game like I said before. You also may have to possess puzzle pieces later on in the game and attempt to figure out the wacky puzzle put before you, such as fitting an electrical socket into the plug. And yeah, trust me, that was not fun. There are also some really fun captures in the game that you can use to just mess around. Like, for example, the Cheep Cheep. You get to swim freely underwater without having to worry about Mario running out of air because he ain't no mermaid. Moais are also really fun to possess, but the only problem with Moais is that when you have the shades on, you move incredibly slow. But then once you have the shades off, you move pretty dang fast. Bullet bills are also really fun to possess and fly around with, but they only last a certain amount of time before they go boom, like they usually do. Anyway, let's talk about the kingdoms a little bit. I would go into detail about the kingdoms and everything else about them, but if I did that, this video will be 2 hours long. So we're just going to go with a brief overview of each kingdom, and then we'll move on from there. We have the Cat Kingdom first, which is home to Cappy's people, the Bonnetiers. At least I think they're actually called that. I don't know how to pronounce it. And it also serves as the prologue world. This one had an awfully mysterious vibe to it, but it was still really entertaining and I really liked the music. The Cascade Kingdom. This one made me feel like I was in a tropical paradise combined with danger, because there was danger around every corner. But this is also where you get the Odyssey. Man, I loved the vibe here, especially turning into that damn T-Rex. I loved causing mayhem with that thing, I swear. If I could, I would do it for hours on end. The Sand Kingdom, aka one of my least favorite kingdoms in the entire game. I don't like sand. It's rough, it's coarse, and it gets everywhere. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Anyway, I do like this kingdom when you finally get out of the pyramid. Harriet's boss fight was actually a decent amount of fun, and Knuckletech's boss fight was actually quite a bit of a challenge. The locals are also chill, but other than that, I don't really like this world. In general, I'm not the biggest fan of desert worlds in Mario, but this one isn't too bad. The Lake Kingdom was also fun as hell to explore, especially swimming around Lake Lamode as a Cheep Cheep. Dory is also freaking adorable! I love Dory so freaking much! No, not that Dory, that Dory. I love that one. I also love the vibes here. Swimming is actually fun as hell here, and I love the locals. The mermaids are adorable, okay? The Wooded Kingdom is up next. And man, you'd think as a cottagecore lover, I would have loved this world, but I thought it was actually mediocre. This world made me get lost insanely easily, and I think I got lost more times than I can count. However, I did enjoy the woody atmosphere while I tried to find my way around. Yeah, I've got quite a few things about this kingdom I didn't like. It's not my least favorite kingdom, but it's also not my favorite. I wasn't too big a fan of the robot people, and I wasn't too big a fan of Spewirt's boss fight either. If anything, that felt like a joke. But Torque Drift's fight was actually insanely fun, and it had an amazing mechanic. But other than that, I wasn't too big a fan of this kingdom. Again, not my least favorite, but still not my favorite. The Cloud Kingdom is up next, and this was literally used for one thing and one thing only. You face off with Bowser here, and that's literally it. I mean, I guess in the post-game you can come back and get moons to 100% the game, but other than that, this kingdom doesn't really have much to offer. It's just clouds, and to be honest with y'all, I usually love clouds, but I don't like this kingdom too much. It's just you face off with Bowser and then you get booted. The Lost Kingdom is a remote kingdom, just like the Cloud Kingdom. It boasts no real town, no real citizens, and no boss fights either. It kind of gives me creepy vibes, and I'm not the biggest fan of this kingdom because of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like some creepy vibes, but not the lost in the woods in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. I mean, you don't really fight anyone here. You just get moves to repair to the damage dealt to your Odyssey by Bowser's airship, and then you move on. That's literally it. You can come back and 100% the game later, but other than that, for the main story, not much happens here. The Metro Kingdom is up next, aka one of the most iconic and well-known kingdoms in this entire game. The Metro Kingdom is easily one of the most interesting areas in the game. It's modeled after New York, and it felt like a giant playground to play and run around with. The Mecha Wiggler boss fight is easily one of the most stellar boss fights in the game, especially since you get to possess a tank and take on this monstrosity. And oh boy, it was a fun as heck fight. I will say this kingdom could take on an entire video of its own on how iconic it is, especially with the song Jump Up Superstar. Anyway, the Snow Kingdom, aka my least favorite kingdom in this entire game. It was torture just attempting to move around without freezing Mario's buns off. However, Chiveria's residents are my ultimate favorite citizens in any kingdom in this game, aside from the Link Kingdom.
They're so fluffy and adorable, and I just want to squeeze them and hug them, come on!
Anyway, the races are also pretty cool, but yeah, other than the races and the citizens of Chiveria, I unfortunately am not really the biggest fan of the Snow Kingdom. Next up is the Seaside Kingdom. This kingdom gave me big time Super Mario Sunshine vibes. I guess any Mario game that involves beaches reminds me of Super Mario Sunshine, to be fair. I love the atmosphere of this kingdom. It actually felt like I was at the beach at some points. I also love the utilization of the Gushins to battle Mollusk Lancier. I really hope I actually said that right. I could gush about this boss for a long time, but for the sake of the video, I'll just say this. I know that I said I like the Torque Drift and the Mecha Wiggler boss fight, but this is my favorite boss fight in the game, hands down. I really like Mollusk Lancier. Again, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, don't come at me. The Luncheon Kingdom. I have only a few words for this. I wanna frickin' eat it. It looks tasty. The Luncheon Kingdom sure lives up to its name. This kingdom actually made me pause the game because I actually got hungry looking around the area. Anyway, aside from, the goofy chicken named Cookatiel, the platforming around here is really fun, especially the flinging forks and traveling around as a Podoboo. I love those things, by the way. Overall, this kingdom is fun to travel around in and fun to look at, but I don't think the boss fight really held up here. But I mean, it's not the worst, so I guess we can give it that. The Ruin Kingdom is the only kingdom in the game to not have any purple coins for you to hunt down and has the least amount of moons, only having 3 before you unlock the post-game. This also is home to Mario's version of Zekrom called the Lord of Lightning. Also, why does the seeing of Bowser on him go ridiculously hard for no reason? Bro has no right to look badass like that. Other than the fight with the Lord of Lightning, this kingdom doesn't really have much to offer other than a dark and dreary feel. Clearly, this kingdom is past its prime, and to be honest with you, I actually really like the theming of this. It's arguably one of the best theming bits in the game. Bowser's Kingdom. Man upgraded from a castle to an entire kingdom! I will say this for Bowser's Kingdom. It dominated in the theming department. Everywhere you look, you get the feel of Bowser. Just Bowser here, Bowser there, Bowser everywhere. I mean, hey, it's his kingdom after all. Also, I love the fact that the bros somehow had the time to open up a crazy cap store. Gotta stay on brand, good job, Bowser. Exploring this kingdom felt like exploring a forbidden area. I felt like I was not supposed to be there, to be honest. Also, you fight harder versions of Topper and Harriet here, which weren't too much of a challenge. But man, facing all four of them in the Mecha Brood or the Robo Brood, to be honest with you, I do not remember for the life of me what that thing is called. But hey, it's a damn good boss fight. Just the right amount of fun and challenging. One of the most creative things I'd see in this game, hands down. Sure, there are some ways you can cheese this fight, but it's not easy, and overall this boss fight adds to the fun of the kingdom. And I personally don't like cheesing boss fights because that takes the fun. And finally, we have the Moon Kingdom. I will tell you all that this felt like one of the craziest pocket pulls in the entire game. I love how they even add the gravity mechanic here. The enemy placement was fantastic. Facing off with Madame Brood one more time was fun but tedious at some points. Then there's the big Bowser fight everyone talks about. I personally love this fight, but for some weird reason I see people say this is one of the worst Bowser fights, but I wholeheartedly disagree with that sentiment. The Bowser fight is really good. It's the right amount of challenging, and Bowser slays that tuxedo. Then there's this. Okay, this game pulled a lot of things out of pocket, but getting to play as Bowser? You get to shoot the fire breath? You get to be Bowser? That was the icing on the cake for me. I loved that so much. Easily one of the best endings to the main story in Mario games on the planet. Oh wait, my bad, the moon. The post-game is also really epic. You can unlock the dark side of the moon, which is the brutal boss gauntlet, and a bunch of other moons that are actually really difficult to get your claws on. This alone, plus the gauntlet, took me 3 months. Not even joking here. I swear to goodness, that was beyond nuts. I would do it again though, no questions asked. It was actually really fun, but it was just crazy. Then there's this insane shit. The darker side of the moon, which is just the ultimate torture chamber. That took me forever. Oh my gosh, I would never do that again. You guys will not believe me at all if I tell you how long this took me to do. It took me 6 whole months. Now, I know a lot of you are probably going to go to the comments and be all like, skill issue, skill issue. No! People genuinely struggled with this bit. But then there's me over here looking on the internet of how to do this stuff, and I've seen people first try this shit, and I'm like, how do you accomplish this? Like, what? Anyway, I was beyond ecstatic when we unlocked the Mushroom Kingdom. The Mushroom Kingdom was fun as hell to explore, getting to jump through paintings like Mario 64 and fighting harder versions of bosses. Some are more difficult than others, I might have to make a video on that. Anyway, you can also play as Yoshi, which is just freaking epic. Totally not biased or anything, please leave me alone. I love the green dinosaur. There's also this outfit of Mario from Super Mario 64, which I just love. And overall, the moons here are super fun to grab as well, but some are more frustrating than others. Anyway, one thing I do want to talk about here in this video that I am about 75% sure will not happen, sadly, is Super Mario Odyssey 2. A lot of people want it, but to be honest with you guys, I don't see this happening, considering the story behind Super Mario Galaxy 2 at least. What would I expect from this game if it was gonna happen? Well, in terms of gameplay, one thing they could do is maybe explore a little bit more with multiplayer. I would love to see more of that, to be honest, because I feel like the multiplayer fell a little bit short. The other thing I didn't enjoy too much was some of Cappy's moves were motion controls. But then again, I'm a freaking weenie, and I despise motion controls thanks to the trauma I developed thanks to the stupid bubble game in Wii Fit when I was younger. Thanks, Wii Fit! But yeah, other than that, I don't really have a lot of complaints about the gameplay. I feel like the gameplay was actually really stellar. So let's move on to the kingdoms. I feel like one kingdom that I have seen the most people request is a Sarasaland kingdom. Have Daisy's kingdom be explored a bit more. I would love to see that. Like, we know very little about Sarasaland in general. Make it happen, Nintendo. Me being the creepy ghost fan I am, I would have loved to see a creepy haunted area in Odyssey. But I guess the Ruined Kingdom fills that role? Maybe? Kind of? I don't know. Maybe a creepy area with Luigi's mansion in the background or something? Or have the mansion be key to the story? I think personally it would have been really cool. This next one here is a self-indulgence one 100%, but I was really hoping for a Yoshi Island themed kingdom. I mean, do I even need to elaborate? Just imagine Yoshi's Island areas, but in a whole freaking kingdom. I would have loved that so much. I would have loved it so much I wouldn't want to leave. I'm biased, okay? I love Yoshi. Yoshi is awesome. Moving on. One thing I would have loved to see the Sand Kingdom have is the Yoshi Sphinx from Paper Mario Sticker Star. Despite me infamously not liking Sticker Star, I do like the Yoshi Sphinx. I wish they would have added something like that into the game, but sadly, we didn't get it and we got this guy instead. Moving away from kingdoms and on to captures here, I feel like it's a war crime we didn't get to play as Koopa Troopas here. Easily one of the most sad missed opportunities I've seen in gaming. We only got to race against them for Power Moons. Maybe Odyssey 2 could fix it if the game ever happened? I don't know, just a suggestion. Spinies also would have been dope as hell, to be honest. Maybe like crawling under things that Mario couldn't, sticking to the walls, and who knows, maybe poking some enemies for good measure. I feel like one of my favorite ideas I have is a Porcupuffer. You know, the giant fish that chases you? Yeah, that thing. These things are insanely fast and could have been a really fun capture to explore with. But I feel like to make this capture somewhat fair and not break the game, it would be like the T-Rex. You can't capture it for too long. Maybe long enough to bust through a wall or something and get into our Power Moon and then get the hell out of there. I honestly could make another video about things I want in Odyssey 2 if there ever was gonna be one. Maybe sometime in the future I'll do it, but not anytime soon. Overall though, Super Mario Odyssey is one of, if not my favorite, Switch game. Maybe with the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out this year, we might be able to get a Super Mario Odyssey 2. I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up. I mean, don't get me wrong, if it happens, I'll be insanely grateful and I'll play it. But if it doesn't, it won't affect me too much. I'll always be happy we have the Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch that we got. It's a truly amazing game and a Nintendo Switch classic. This game also holds a really truly special place in my heart. amazing peoples, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys ended up enjoying this longer video, and I hope you enjoyed the video about Super Mario Odyssey. If you ended up liking this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, huge thank you to my thumbnail artist, Lufinas. You did an amazing thumbnail job, buddy. I really like it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye!